Good evening, friends. I nearly greeted you with my different voice. Good evening, everybody. It is time for Crypto Talk, and I'm excited to be with you on the call tonight. And I know in some parts of South Africa, it's cool tonight. It's a bit chilly, but we have a hot subject for you tonight. Bitcoin, we've been talking about this in the last few weeks, with just week after week, Bitcoin printing us red candles. And lo and behold, after a historic 9 weeks in the red, Bitcoin has last week printed a green candle, and it's doing that again this week. Let me stir and just start. And you know that we have the chartist on the call, and thank you, Marius, for allowing the people in. We have the chartist on the call and the traders on the call, and I'm just here to keep you busy. But that's my chart. So at least that I have a chart. And I had that channel that we've been moved in, and that's a week chart. I just want to quickly show you something on the chart that I've seen. And we've been in that channel, and we all know that. I know it's history, but I had that channel for a little bit of time. I think I've drawn that channel. Memory serves me right, around March, middle of March, beginning of March. I've drawn that channel. And it played out until it stopped playing out. That's what a channel is, isn't it? But that's not what I want to share with you tonight. If you look at this chart, and I've just plotted one or two things. I've been listening to a few of our people in the know that share with us our social media guys and girls, and I've just accumulated on my chart what I've seen and I've hidden all the other stuff. So it's a clean chart. If you don't think so, Jason, that's the cleanest I can get it. But I've plotted one or two things in there. Something that we all know is the high was around 69,000. So that's our high in this cycle. And it's important that we just put that feather in our cap for one moment, because I'll get back to that. The real price, if you go listen to the market, they talk about a real price, a real Bitcoin price currently of about $38,000. It depends on who you talk to. Some people say that real price is closer to $22,000. But there's a big chunk of influencers in the market that's talking about it. Bitcoin should have been, or should be, a real price for Bitcoin currently is at around about $38. And if you go look at MicroStrategy, where they discount on crypto, on Bitcoin in that, I think that 38 is in a big part of the market, the consensus. But the part that I want to show you before I just do one more thing, and that's this accumulation zone. Now, while we were busy with this, we got down here in beginning of January, middle of January, when we had this little retracement. People said that there's going to be an accumulation zone at 28, around about 28 to 20, 22, 23. There's going to be an accumulation zone, which we did not hit. We nearly hit it there, but I only pulled it in late, so that's why mine's not there. But yeah, I thought that we're going to hit this accumulation zone. I didn't wish for it. I didn't pray for it. But we nearly hit it, and then we had our second up to go to the high. And when we got there, I truly, and I'm now congruent with you, I truly never thought that we will go and visit that accumulation zone this year. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. Okay, this accumulation zone is still in play, and I see a lot of social media players talk about the 28,000 to 23,000 accumulation zone. And there's even a group talking about an accumulation zone between 18 and 12. But lo and behold, I trust that we're not going to get there. And Jason and Andre will talk about that now. And then if we go, one last thing that I would just like to show you, and that is, if we go look at what Bitcoin has done in the pullback in the last time. Now, from the high in December 2017 until the low that we hit after that, it was an 84% pullback. So we had an 84% pullback. So if we say, and if we go look at the next one to the low, it's 84. But if we go look at where we currently, and that's what I want to say something about tonight. If we go look at where we are currently, and we go look at where the low is, that's only 61% pullback. That's only 61% pullback. And I really cringe when I go look at the 84% pullback. And then you can see why there are people in the market talking about a $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000 Bitcoin, because they purely go look at the pullback, and they base what they talk about on that pullback, which is 84%. And yeah, that was just my little stir for the evening to get this chat going. And I know that we have the professionals in the room, and allow me to introduce the professionals, because they can do this a lot better than me, and go to say and ask for some real help. And let me introduce our subject matter expert on crypto trading at the Crypto School, none other than Jason Ashington. Jason, I've now confused everyone a little, and but please pull this back and come tell us what you think about this 9-week red candle, and now we're in the second week of green candle. What do you see? What do you see in the water or in the candles? Jason.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Daniel. Yes, if it was a true, okay, it is still a bear market, but if it was a true bear market like we saw in 2018, you are correct in saying that Bitcoin should retrace to at least 84, 85%, and then, you know, down to that $12,000 level. But we haven't seen that. We've seen that we're holding support here in the last year at around about 30,000, which is great. But unfortunately, we've seen a lot of bleeding in some altcoins. Some altcoins have started dropping already in May last year. For example, Theta, they're already gone down sort of 90%. Whereas some altcoins only really started dropping from the all-time highs in November. And there is one or two, like, for example, Cardano only started dropping from September last year, and I think Phantom from November. And I think they've still got a bit of bleeding to do to get down to that 90% level from their all-time highs in the last year. But let's just focus for now to see where exactly we are in the market. And if we go on to the daily, last week this time was what date? Donnie, it was the 30th. And that would have been about, yeah, we had that beautiful candle up on the 30th. And unfortunately, 2 days later, we started dropping again. And if we go on to smaller time frames, yeah, the first, we started dropping and we came all the way down, and we came to retest this break that we had here last week, Monday, out of this pennant, actually a bearish pennant formation that we broke to the upside. It's bearish because we entered from the top, and we came down and retested it later in last week. We went sideways over the weekend, and we had a nice push up early this morning. What I did warn the people on this morning's call was that we need to create a higher high than what we achieved last week. But unfortunately, you can see that we are starting to, looks like, to drop off. If you look at the indicator that I mostly use, the stock RSI in the 4-hour, you see it's right at the top and started to cool down. So that looks like we could have possibly a correction in the market on smaller time frames. So it is just really the 4-hour and, yeah, less than that. So it looks like we could possibly drop down. Now, what's the leading indicator is the S&P 500. And sorry about all these support and resistance lines, but I need to have them in to see where the resistance areas are with the S&P, because I use this as a leading indicator to tell me what Bitcoin is doing. Now, the S&P on the higher time frames, like the daily, you can see the stock RSI right at the top, and looks like it wants to reverse and come down. And even if you go to smaller time frames, 4 hours already starting to trend down. So, and where we are at the moment is that against massive resistance. You can see this area has been support before in the beginning of May. The area was support again in March this year. We are against resistance here at the moment, and it looks like it's holding that resistance. And if we go to the other large markets in the United States, the Dow Jones, also pretty much against resistance right here. You can see this area has been support previously, and also the NASDAQ also against resistance at the moment. Stock markets are looking a bit overbought at the moment, and there is a possibility of a retreat in the stock markets. So a bullish pennant here at the moment. So I'm not too sure how deep this retrace will go, but we'll keep an eye on it in the next couple of days. Okay, so let's go to have a look and see. First of all, I want to have a look at the emotional cycles in the market. And these emotional cycles play in larger time frames, medium time frames, smaller time frames. They play over and over and over again. Now, what I'm looking at specifically right now is a time frame roughly of about 6 months. Now, you can remember what happened last year in November. We went all the way up. We had a bit of euphoria at that stage. The news was out that Plan B was talking about us going to 100,000 Bitcoin in November, and I think it was 130,000 December. And the market was going euphoria around that news that was at the moment, at that stage, sorry, November. But unfortunately, we've had a sell-off since then. And that sell-off has been a long sell-off now. We're in the 7th month of the sell-off. And I would say pretty much where we are now, I think we already hit this angle. If we come down and have a look at Bitcoin now on the daily, we've come down here on the 12th of May, gone sideways, had that drop two Fridays ago on the 26th, and then went up from there. So I think we came down there on the 12th of May, went up, and that other drop. I know that this drop here was not as lower than the one on the 12th of May, but we came up and we've gone down and we came up again. Now, you can see what happens normally if we're in this stage is that we have another slow bleed down to a lower point and then go out of this depression phase, another slow process up to disbelief, and then from the cycle just repeats itself again. So if we have a look at what happened in between May and July last year, and that was a long drawn out bottom for us that took 2 months to play out. So if we just have a look at this structure, we went down, came up, went down, came up, and then it was that slow bleed down in the depression phase. And then suddenly the markets took off. And guess what happened after that? We went right up from July up to November, then had that euphoria stage where the news was out of Bitcoin going to 130,000. Now, if we look where we are now and just focus on this area here that I'm talking about that took from the 28th of June to the 20th of July, I think we are pretty much close to that area now. And what is just a personal view, and I have not got a crystal ball. Who knows? Tomorrow Bitcoin might take off and just shoot up again. But I think we're going to have a bit of a slow bleed down again. And the reason why I'm saying that is there's still news around interest rate hikes in the United States. There's another FOMC meeting now in the middle of June. The sentiment in the fear and greed is still very extreme negative. And I think we could possibly have a pullback in the stock market and also a drawn out, for the next sort of 3 weeks, a drawn out process here, then hopefully find a bottom and then move off that bottom to once again move up. And I still believe that the last sort of 5-6 months of this year is going to be very positive. Just remember that the United States is having their midterm elections in November. The ruling party wants to make sure that the sentiment in the United States in both the economy and amongst the people is positive. They want to say that they've sorted out the job numbers, they've sorted out the inflation, they've sorted out the stock market, and they're obviously going to be going for the vote. So it's in their interest to drive this market up going into November, December. So I still think that's going to take place later on in the year. And I think we've got a good chance of making some decent gains going in towards the end of this year. If we just have a look at the crypto bubbles for the week, mostly red. but there has been the waves of altcoins has gone up 30%. On Monday last week alone, it went up 100%. Cardano is very bullish at the moment. There is a hard fork taking place at the end of June, and this will drive Cardano's price up. And I think that we got quite a bit of upside in Cardano going into this month. Remember, it's not going to go up in a straight line. There will be ups and then there will be retraces along the way. The last thing I wanted to point out to you was that if we look at the Bitcoin dominance on, let me go to 3-day, and I have circled here this morning where we found resistance previously. This was in June last year, July last year, and October last year, where the resistance got up to 47.75%, found strong resistance and has retraced. Now you can see right now we are very close to that area. We've had a massive surge up today in the dominance where the alts have sold off more than Bitcoin, and we are getting very close to that 47.75%. So what I think is going to happen now is that we're going to have this retrace like we're currently having now, and that is going to force the dominance back up into this zone here. And I think we're going to find a rejection there and start trending down. And this movement down is going to be very bullish for the altcoins, and it's going to result in some altcoins, I think, doing very well, possibly towards the end of this week going into next week. You can see that the stock RSI is getting quite high, is also trending up, 4 hours trending up. So we're very close to this resistance area. We actually did break out of here on the 1st of June, went up sideways, and looks like we're going to retest also the breakout of this channel, which has been in place since the beginning of May. So I think we will have a bit of relief in the markets, possibly at the end of this week again, going into next week. We need to have a look at Bitcoin. We want to make sure that Bitcoin possibly comes a retrace. We want to create a higher high in this process. If Bitcoin does not create a higher high and creates a lower high on the daily, that means we are going to bleed down going into the next 3 weeks to a lower price point. But yeah, let's have a look here. And as I say, I still believe that from July onwards, we're going to see a positive market going into December.
Jason, if I can jump in there and say something. It's so interesting. I wasn't expecting Bitcoin dominance to go up this much now, where we thought we were in the cycle earlier in the year. And if we just look at how it played out, it took me by surprise. I'm not the rocket scientist here, but it took me a little by surprise. I did not expect it to go up the way that it's gone up in the last little while, where we thought we were in the cycle. And the second thing is the alts are trending down like it's crazy. The volume of the market capitalization earlier this week, earlier last week, was 1.2 trillion, and it's gone up to 1.29. It's now going back to 1.27 again, and it's all to do with the alts.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just start in the dominance. I've got a blue line in here. That is my personal target. You can see it's very strong support in 2019. You can see we broke right through in April last year, and we haven't come back up to retest this area, this breakout. So I would say this zone here, 53%, maybe even up to 57% will be the sort of target, but I think it'll be the low one, sort of 53% that we'll be going to, unfortunately. And yes, I agree with you. We thought that we weren't going into a bear market that would result in this type of action coming from the dominant. We were in a falling wedge though, with a falling wedge is always a 68% chance to break to the upside. So, which has happened here. I must just show you that we are in a falling wedge also on Bitcoin. And sorry, let me just take it out. Let me just go to another screen here. Sorry about all these lines here, but just focus on these orange lines. We're in a falling wedge here from September last year and also from this high in November, this orange falling wedge. There's a 68% chance of a break to the upside at some stage. And we are also in a smaller falling wedge at the moment. You can see that we between the two orange lines there. Possibly there's some upside coming. Yeah. Your second statement was around the total market cap. And we've got this orange line, Donnie, that comes from the COVID drop. Now, the COVID drop was also the second. So we came from the low in December 2018, first wave up, second wave down, came into COVID. And I've drawn that orange trend line in. And there is a strong possibility that we come and retest that orange line again, possibly going now, coming down to even to 1 trillion. But 1.2, you can see is very strong support. It has been strong support even July last year. So just keep an eye on that. There's some people in the chat here. Okay, all good there. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that, and thank you for taking time to talk around what I just commented on. And I know you have still more to go, and as usual. And I'm going to be different tonight, and going to go to the young gun first and then to Marius, and then we're going to come back to you if that's okay with you. And we would like to land with you tonight. And so young gun, Andre, allow us to just say hello to Andre. And we trust that your signal booster will last the evening, Andre. Thank you. Welcome. And it's always lucky to hear your excitement about the market and where you're at that very particular moment. So please, Andre, go.
Awesome. Yeah, hello guys. I'm glad to be here, and my signal booster is working fine. There shouldn't be any problems. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm gonna share a bit more on what I shared last time, and I'm gonna just have a bit of a recap with you guys, and I'm gonna speak mainly about Bitcoin. And I think in times like this, you should ask yourself, why are you in the crypto market and why Bitcoin? And I think sometimes we forget actually what the reason is why we are in the crypto space. And I'm gonna shortly, and bear with me if I say some of the facts different or not correct, but the main idea the concept should be right. Yeah guys, so first off, let's start off why Bitcoin. And why Bitcoin is because of the dollar. And you guys know, so what happened was, a long time ago, everybody were trading with gold and stuff like that. And then gold got too heavy because it's a physical gold they were using. So it got too heavy and they started trading with that, but it was too heavy. So what they did was they created a bank or a vault where they went and stored their gold. And then you got a piece of paper, like just a piece of paper that said, okay, you have this amount of gold. So then they started transacting with the paper and say it's you earn this amount of gold now. So that's what they did. But then what happened was there was a war and they needed more gold than what they had. So then they moved over to dollar, and that's where dollar was created, because they needed more gold than what they had. Now, this isn't the problem. The problem wasn't the dollar. The problem was the cap of the dollar. So everybody hears a lot about market cap, total market cap of Bitcoin, total market cap of crypto, what? So the problem is the cap of the dollar. This is what's happening, and I'm quickly gonna explain this to you guys as simple as possible. And I was at a coffee shop today and someone walked in and asked me about crypto, and I actually explained this to him as well, the same, and he's like, what happens is the dollar, for instance, there's a certain amount of people in the world. So if there was literally just $1,000 created ever, and there were people being born and stuff, so obviously because there's more people, the scarcity of that dollar should become more. So the dollar's value should actually become even more greater than what it actually is. So in theory, every month you should get paid with your salary, you should get paid less because the dollar's value is going up. But the problem is the total market cap of dollar. And I'm quickly going to show you guys this mind-blowing thing. Let me just get my screens ready here. So you should ask yourself, but why are they doing this? And yeah, let me just show you guys this. So this is what's happening. 80% of all US dollars in existence were printed in the last 22 months. That is crazy, guys. You should think to yourself, but how is this even possible? And that is why we say Bitcoin, because Bitcoin only has a 20 million market cap. So they can't make more Bitcoin than there is. There's only a certain amount of Bitcoin. And you should think, okay, but then why is the dollar why is nothing happening that's like really crazy or bad? Because they talk about hyperinflation and stuff, but they pump all that money into their own markets so that they don't go underneath. And yeah, this is actually really scary. But that's why I'm so bullish about Bitcoin. But now the thing is, you say, okay, but what about gold? And Michael Saylor, if you really want to be really bullish about Bitcoin, go watch about Michael Saylor. That guy is brilliant. So he has a company called MicroStrategies. And sorry if you guys already know everything. I just want you guys to remember this is why we are here. So there's a company called MicroStrategies, and I don't know exactly what he does, but I know I watched a video of him, and he said that because he has a lot of capital in his company, if he doesn't grow his capital by 20% each year, then the value actually is like way less. So he has to grow 20% each year just for the value to stay the same. And that should make you think, okay, but what in South Africa? That's crazy. So the value of your money should actually grow by 20% each year, and that is in America. That's crazy. So that guy, he went and he said, okay, he has to do something. He has to make a plan. That can't be right. Like, he has to figure out something. And he went and studied gold, and he studied everything, and then he got to Bitcoin. And it was like, this is gonna be it. Because he says gold increases at least 2% every year, and that is the market cap. Like I told about dollar. So dollars doesn't have a market cap. It doesn't have a market cap. And exactly the same with gold. But they can't make so many. They can't like print gold 80% in 2 years. They can't do that. But still, there's no cap with gold. And the problem is with gold. For instance, if I'm in South Africa and I have, I don't know, this amount of gold, it's gonna be heavy and it's not gonna be nice to move around. So if I want to go to America or Madagascar or whatever, if I have gold, it's gonna be a struggle to move that stuff all the way to there. And that is the solution with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like, you can't touch it, and that is why people are scared about it. But you can't touch your money in your bank. Like, you can't touch that. Only if you go and withdraw it. But if you send money from my account to Umdani's account, from Umdani's account to my account, that's going to be better. Then you can't see the transaction, you can't touch it. And if everybody in South Africa went to the bank and withdraw their money, they wouldn't be able to do that because there isn't that amount of money. Okay? So it's almost the same thing. But with Bitcoin, they don't care about what color are you, what race. They don't care what do you have, what do you own, are you a legitimate guy or not. They don't care anything. You just have to have a wallet and have Bitcoin, and then you can send it. Okay, so I think that was really bullish. But now I'm gonna make this bullishness into the charts, and I'm just gonna go through what I said last time. Okay, so here we are, trading view, and this is the BLX chart again. This chart is the longest that you can view Bitcoin's candles, and you can only view it on daily above. So what I want you guys to, and again, I'm just gonna go quick through this. Sorry if you already saw this, or if I'm too quick, I'm really sorry. But before I go there, let me just show you something. Okay, no, I'm gonna wait, because otherwise that's gonna sound bearish. Okay, so if you go back, and you can see I have all of this. I don't know, it looks like children went on my trading view. But anyways, so you guys know I love my FIB tool. And I'm in weekly again. I have to go to daily. No. Anyways, let me just get back to my chart. Yeah, it's always a hassle if I do that. Anyways, sorry guys. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I can maybe just use a zoom tool. There we go. Okay, so first of all, you guys know I like my Fib tool, the Fibonacci tool, and I'm not going to share what it is. You can go Google it. It's really interesting. So if you take it from that low to the all-time high, and this is 2011, like you can't find 2011 on any other Bitcoin chart that I saw. So in with the Fib tool, everybody knows the 618 and 786 zone is the golden zone. So I just quickly want to go through this. So every time I went back and I tested it, every time I charted this, every single time we made an old high like that, we came back to the 618 and retraced. So that box there is the 618. I'm just gonna explain this in detail shortly here, and then I'm just gonna show you exactly the same thing happens every single time. So we went to the 618, boom, retraced to the 382 area. Okay, you guys can see that. And then after that, we went down further. And I'm still bullish, guys. You can hear I'm smiling. I'm still happy. Sorry. And every time we went down and we went below the 618 and 786, we went to the 786 and 887 zone. Okay? I'm still bullish. Okay, so if we go on, and this is the 2013 rally. That box, I'm not going to chart it again. That box there, that's a 618. Went to the 618. Once we went there, boom, we retraced to the 382 area. And after that, then we went down again. Sorry, my this line is actually a bit higher. But anyways, it went down to the 786, 887 zone again. Okay. Oh, sorry. And now in 2014, that was 2013. This was the end of 2013 November. We went to the 618. Let me just scroll up a bit. There's the 382. We even went to the 618 level again. Then, guess what? We went down even further. Boom. That's the 786, 887 zone. Okay. Let's scroll. Look at all that gains. If you just from there, that was 2000% gains just like that. Anyways, okay, here we are. We went to the 618. There's the 618. Retraced to the 382. We went down 786, 887. And this is where we are at now. And I'm not saying, guys, this is going to be exactly what's going to happen. But if I look at the history, it always happened. And they say the market never repeats itself, but it rhymes. So if I look what happened there, then it should happen now as well. Every single time that happened. So this is the 618 and 786 zone. And we went to that zone. So we can still hover down a bit. And this is just from what, this is no like special technical analysis. This is just what I researched. Okay, so now we can go to the 382 area. And then if it's going to happen like we saw every single time, then we should go down to this area, the 786 and 887 zone. And this is, I laughed when Umdani said there's people waiting for between 18 and for I don't know what. But this is actually the zone what I see on this chart. And if you go to the CME features, you can see we actually filled this one. And the rule is you should fill, well, that's what I heard. They should fill halfway through that gap. And then it should be full. Now there is a CME gap, and it doesn't always have to go and fill it. But most of I don't know why it's not showing it anymore. But there was, I don't know, Jason, is there a CME gap there? Because I drew in these lines. Oh, this is on the weekly. This is on the weekly. Let me check the daily. Yeah, there's the gap. There's the gap. Okay, so there's a gap between 19,000 and 18,000. Now, if you go to the BLX chart, the other BLX chart, you can see there's the gap just above it. Now, let me just go and add in the bottom of that one. Let's see. Maybe it is at the, is it? Ah, no, it's just above it. Just above it. Maybe I should just drag this a bit up until we have.
Done, buddy.
Anyways, okay, guys. So this is for me really bullish still, because I believe in Bitcoin. I just thought like the dollar isn't gonna change. It's just gonna get worse and worse every single year. So it's not gonna change, and Bitcoin isn't gonna change as well. And if Bitcoin doesn't change, then it's perfect. I love it. So I'm really bullish about this. So why do I show you this? And I'm not showing you guys just random stuff. I'm showing you guys what I'm going to do with my portfolio. And this is what I believe. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to figure out even more precisely, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 50-60% when we get there at 41,800. So I'm going to take 50-60% of all of my altcoins and even Bitcoin, and I'm going to sit with that in dollars. And then if we get to that 618 zone, then I'm going to be all out. And then I'm going to evaluate what the market does. Because, and like guys, and usually it took a year from the 618 until the all-time low. So I hope not, it takes a year. But there was sometimes where it just weak like in that thing and then it went on. So it doesn't have to take so long. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some profits there, get out of the market, and then, yeah, because that's profits. And if you go to the smaller time frames, let me just get to a Bitcoin chart. If we go to smaller time frames, and there was actually something bullish, and I'll just quickly chart this in. But if you go to the smaller time frame, that 41,800 area is 35%. That's not, who doesn't want 35%? So that's not too bad. And I'm still going to trade, guys. That is just about my investment portfolio that I spoke about. And we have a strong bullish divergence here on the 4 hour. And this is a shorter time frame. Sorry if I take too much time. So there's a divergence there at the back. And one of my strategies is I just have to make a higher high. Then I'm going to be bullish. And that's super close. So yeah, guys, this is in short why I'm bullish. For some of you, this might sound bearish, but I try to tell it and say it as bullish as I can be. And then just another thing that's really bullish, if you go to the 2 weekly and the RSI, sorry, you can see here, this is the, let me just open this. This is the trend line with the RSI's lows, and that is from 2015, January 2015. And look how close we are to that line. So like, yeah, this is really good for me. I don't know if there's any questions or you guys want to vote me out of here, but yeah, this is what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Andre. We appreciate your passion and your energy, and that you always come and willing to share with us. Thank you for that, Andre. And remember, we will ask you for your final comments later. But now let's first, before we go back to Jason, let's just quickly go and visit with Marius, the crypto wealth coach. And Marius is committed to go do a little research for us in day trading and that. And I know currently there's absolutely no time for that, Marius, but maybe share 1 or 2 things with us.
Yes, Daniel, thank you. You must actually take the day trading out of there because, yeah, it is one of the things that I pursue, and I'm busy with my workshops there. But at the end of the day, I always see myself as an investor trader. So I love to build a portfolio and also make sure that portfolio grows. So what I just did today, as you can see here on my list of coins with the green candles that we had today, I was in about 30 coins. So I just nearly halved my coins, and I took that money and just put it into stronger coins. So I really, what I did this week, I did my due diligence on some coins, and I decided, listen, there's coins that I don't want to use that word here, but in the crypto world, we call it the sheet coins. And I decided, listen, I must get out of those a few seed coins. So I took that money and put it into stronger coins that I know that's gonna grow. So that is my longer term portfolio. On the day trading, I'm just sitting on the pavilion for now, and until I'm sure that the market is better for me to do some day trading. So yes, that is where I am.
Cool. Thank you, Marius. We appreciate that. And in that, you still came and assisted us and showed us what you're doing. Remember, I'll always show you the Crypto School YouTube channel. And this last week, we posted our business coach talking to the participants in the 1-year program. And he already had 84 views. in 4 days. So go check that out. Carl really blessed us there with amazing information. But the crypto talks are all on there. If you want to go check out the charts from the young gun and from Jason, that's the place to go find it. And make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can catch us and know when we add content there for you. We're here to serve you. The Crypto School, we're here to serve you. But tonight we want to end on a high, and we've taken the mic away from Jason while he was just getting heated up with what he's showing us. And Jason, please conclude this meeting with us, and then I'll go to Marius and to the young gun for just a closing remark. But Jason, you have the last few minutes of this talk tonight.
Thanks, Daniel. I've got 3 more charts to show you, only 3. And I just want to share why I am bullish for later on in this year. And I am gone on to the BLX charts like Andre had there. And the reason why I've gone to BLX, it gives the best history of Bitcoin as an average amongst all the exchanges. And I've gone into the monthly time frame, and I'll focus on this indicator at the bottom here. It's called the stock RSI, Relative Strength Index. And just see where we are currently. You can see that the stock RSI on the monthly is right at the bottom. Now, there's only been 2 occasions previously where it was at the bottom, and the end of 2018, where this new bull market started, and also, yeah, at the end of 2014, where that bull market started, that capped out at the end of 2017. Now, if we go and just have a look at there where we were, that was roughly January 2015 low, and we had a low there, and this started moving up, and it was quite high for quite a long time. And you can see right now we're right at the bottom here. So it's only happened previously twice in Bitcoin's history of now the 12th year. So how cool is that?
Jason, and that's why I talked about those 9 red candles, because that is what helped us to get to that historical pivot point.
Yeah, absolutely. Donnie did allude around that the retrace in a bear market is normally around about 84%. And I can show you 2 or 3 instances when that happened. If we can just go back into in December 2017 to the low in, where was our low here? It was 2018, no? You can see 84% there, drop in Bitcoin. And I think the previous bull market at the end of 2014, 84% there. Okay, so those are 2 instances where it happened. And you can see right now we've only dropped about 62%. So I'm still saying that we're going to turn around here the next couple of weeks and go for that 5th wave up, as this is not a real proper bear market like we've seen previously.
So Jason, you will say that in 2017, we gone up and we hit the all-time high, and we are now exactly 4 years in from, not exactly, but close on 4 years. But if you go look at the high that we had in November last year, October, November, that's 4 years from the 2017. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but if you go count the time frames, you'll see that it's 4 years. So my thinking is, what's stopping us from November last year, $69,000 Bitcoin being the high for this 4-year cycle?
Okay, just Donnie, you referred to 4 years. The cycle did play out every 4 years, but the cycles have been getting longer. If we take the 2013 high to the 2017 high, that was roughly, what is that, 1,500 days, you can call it. And from 2017 to current, we are already at, you can see with your eye that it's much longer.
Oh, but Jason, now you go to now. You're not ending it at the high
No,
in
but
November last
but I'm
year.
just showing you
And
the
say,
cycle.
but it wasn't that
cycle
maybe
in-
the cycle.
That's 1,643, that high. And I think we had a high year in April 2000. And look, so these cycles are getting longer. That was nothing. That was 214 days. Okay, so the other chart that interests me right now is called the Dow Jones Transport Index, and we're looking at the daily year. Now, the reason why it excites me is it's a leading indicator for the state of the economy. Is the economy expanding or is the economy contracting? Now, if we look at in November last year, we went to a high. We did trend down from November. We did have a false breakout here in March, exactly the same time when the Ukraine and Russia war was announced. It was a bit of a fake out, and then we dropped back to retest, went sideways and dropped further. And we formed another wedge that we have just broken out right now. But if we go onto the monthly and once again, just have a look at our friend, the indicator at the bottom here called the stock RSI, and focus really on time frames here on the monthly when it was low, and just see what happens after it bottomed out and started moving up. We had an economy that is expanding. Look what happened in February, March, April 2020. Economy that is expanding. There's so many cases of the same thing happening. And we're right at the bottom now, almost right at the, this is telling me too that we're due for an upcycle in the economy. And I'm very bullish for the last 6 months of this year. The last chart I wanted to talk about was a lot of focus has been around the DXY. And the reason why we're looking at the DXY is that when the dollar weakens, we normally have a good run in crypto. If we have a look here, in the 2016, 2017, the dollar dropped from $104 down to 88. And that was the bull market, if we can recall. Same thing happened here in 2020. Dollar dropped. We had a crypto market that, a bull run that year. And then for the last year, we've been trending up in a channel formation. We actually broke out of this channel formation here in April. And we went and hit a major resistance point of 104.50. If we go on to smaller time frames, it looks like we have been rejected off that area. We've been rejected off that area and we've come down to the top of that white channel at the moment. So what we do want to see over the next couple of weeks, just remember this doesn't come down in a straight line. There will be a retrace back up again, but we do want to see us come back into this white channel and hopefully come even lower down to the bottom of this white channel. And that will give us a bullish signal for the crypto market once we see this dollar start weakening. So those are the three charts I wanted to show you to end off tonight. Thanks, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. We really appreciate what you bring to the table and for you to be willing to come and serve us every week. Thank you, buddy. Young Gun, your last words for the evening.
Yeah, guys, I'm still super bullish about the crypto market. I'm gonna be here forever, and you guys can keep me up to date if I'm really here or not. But I'm gonna be in this crypto forever. I don't have anything else. I don't think I'm gonna use anything else. Like they say, you don't put all your money, like all your stuff in one basket. So one day, if me and Umdani and Jason and Marius can all go to the career Wildtuin and be really rich, then I'll buy property and stuff like that, just to get the stuff out of the basket. So that's the only reason why I will like use something else than crypto. But I'm still really bullish. So that's all I wanted to say.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. We appreciate you and we appreciate the exuberance of youth that you bring to the table. Hey, have you heard that big word, Marius? Marius, your last words for the evening.
Yes, Daniel, that is an immaculate. So yes, Andre, I'm the same as you. I'm in the crypto for the last 5 years, and I'm going to be in crypto for the next 50 to 100 years. I'm not going to be here for them, but yes. So just from my side, I'm the guy that's not that technical on the panel here, But that is why we are a team. We've got Jason, we've got Andre, and we've got great people in our team that's more technical than other guys. But just work out your strategy, where you are in your portfolio, where you are in your crypto portfolio, and just work that strategy, and make sure that you stay on top of it, and that you educate yourself on a frequent basis. Daniel, Jason, Andre, thank you for a great evening.
Cool. Thank you, Marius. We appreciate it. Jason, last wise words for this evening.
I've got a new name for Andre. I think we'll change his name to Fibonacci Smith, or Fib Smith from now.
I think Fibonacci Smith will do it. Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Jason, we appreciate your time, and we knew that you had other stuff to do, but you decided to still be with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolute privilege serving you tonight. Please go get this recording on YouTube. Go tell your friends to go watch it. Have a good one. Have a blessed one. And we trust that we'll see green candles in the week. Cheers. Bye-bye.